If you are looking for a chicken recipe that is juicy, crispy and flavorful, this recipe is for you. So come along with me and I'll show you how I make it. For this recipe, I'm using the boneless and skinless chicken breast. Now, if you want the skin on your chicken breast, it's all well and good. It will still work for this recipe. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut each of these chicken breasts into two because they are going to be too big by the time I'm done frying them. So it's better to just divide them into two. Feel free to trim off any chicken fats around the chicken breast. Next, I'm going to be adding these chicken pieces inside a large Ziploc bag. And I'm going to use my rolling pin to beat the chicken just to flatten them out a little bit. Let's say about 3/4 of an inch thickness. If you don't want to use a rolling pin, it's fine. You can use your mallet or use the bottom of a very heavy pot to hit the chicken. This is going to help to soften the chicken, number one, and it's also going to help the chicken to cook fast. It's now time to make our seasoning mix. I'm going to be using a whole lot of smoked paprika. Don't skimp on that. Then I'm going to be using some cayenne pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, salt, and seasoning powder. I'm using the chicken seasoning powder today. Now give this a good mix and set it aside. Now I'm going to measure out a cup of buttermilk and I'm going to be adding that into a large bowl. To that, I'm also going to be adding 2 eggs. You might be wondering, buttermilk and eggs? Yes, it's going to give you a thicker batter. So just trust me on that one. And at the end of the day, your chicken is going to even come out more crispy. So to that, I'll just be adding a little bit of salt and pepper. Whisk that together and set it aside. For the dry ingredients, I'm going to be adding some all-purpose flour together with some cornstarch. I will also be adding my mixed spices. But before I do, I'm going to scoop out a tablespoon from the seasoning and I'm going to set that aside. Now add the remaining seasoning to the flour mixture and mix well. You want to make sure the seasoning is distributed all around the flour. Now back to my chicken, I'm going to be adding the reserved 1 tablespoon of seasoning and I'm going to add that straight inside the bag of the chicken. Mix that together until all the chicken breasts are well coated with the seasoning. Now take this chicken breast one at a time. First, dip it into the wet mixture. Make sure you turn it around so that everything can be well coated. Once that is done, remove it from the wet mixture and dip it straight into the flour mixture. Do the same thing, flip it around, make sure everything is well coated. Now, when you want to remove the chicken from the flour mixture, make sure you shake it well. You don't want any extra flour all around the chicken. So remove each of the chicken pieces and set them aside. I have my oil already heated up. Let's say around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to start dropping in the chicken one at a time. You don't want to overcrowd the pan, otherwise the temperature of the oil will come down and you are going to end up with a soggy chicken. You don't want that. So now I'm going to fry this chicken about 5 minutes on each side until they all become golden brown and crispy, just like this. Now remove the chicken from the hot oil and place them on a wire rack. I'm using a wire rack because it's going to allow the steam to evaporate instead of entering the chicken and making them go soggy. So leave them on the wire rack for a few minutes before slicing through into them. Look at that. It's looking so nice and crispy and juicy on the inside. This is exactly how I like my chicken to be. Juicy, crispy, flavorful with a little bit of spiciness. All right, you can eat this the way it is. You can serve this with your mashed potato and drizzle some gravy over it. You can also serve them with your rice, salad. It's very versatile. Just enjoy it the way you like it. So that is it again for today, guys. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. As usual, all the details you need to today's recipe can be found in the description box below. Until next time, I'll talk to you shortly. Enjoy.